Well, hello.
Hello.
It's Ginger.
And Dee.
And this
is
Chattin' with CHAP. We're a smidge early, y'all, because we are all about wanting to see what the governor's going to say at 1.
1 o'clock. Yeah.
So, and if you don't know, there's some stuff going on in Harrisburg. So, I'm going to be checking it out. Yep. And what does that stuff in Harrisburg mean to you, Dee?
As you all know, we have been moving forward with convention.
Yes.
Trying to figure out how it could work, what it's going to look like, what are the rules that we'll need to follow, and what are our limitations. And honestly, getting those answers has been hard, and it hasn't been clear. We're not ready to throw in the towel yet. In fact, we are praying boldly that convention can happen. We ask that you would pray with us that convention can happen. But there's some answers we need. And so last night there was a resolution passed that could open up our whole state. And how does that affect convention? What's the governor going to do with that? I mean, there's just so many things happening. Yet we're feeling a time crunch on making the decision because we have to respect people's, who are making reservations and who are traveling, and vendors and speakers. And there's so much that goes into this. Yet we hate to just throw in the towel and find out, oh, state's open, let's roll. Or, we could still do it, but we have to follow some different guidelines or rules or. So we're just really praying hard and trying to figure out, we want convention to happen this year. We just have some phenomenal things. It's always phenomenal, but we just have some awesome speakers and the vendors, they have missed out on so much.
Most of the conventions across the country have canceled.
Everything canceled.
We're like the only ones still standing for the most part, outside of like North Carolina and Florida, I think.
Yeah.
State conventions.
So the vendors, they're struggling, and we want to provide, we want to do this. We want to do this for homeschool families.
We want
to do this for you.
Yes.
We want to do this for the vendors. We want this to happen so badly. So we're praying hard. We're asking you to pray with us, and let's see what happens here in the next couple of days. Could be a miracle, and that's what we are really hoping for.
So join us in prayer. We are. This is in God's hands. This whole thing is in God's hands right now. It is a God thing. Yeah. If it happens.
Well, and convention's huge for CHAP to keep CHAP going, and so
that is a reality.
Yeah, that's the reality. If convention doesn't happen, it's hard for CHAP to keep going, and so we have to face that also and figure out. We have to do a lot of pivoting, and there will be a lot of prayer and a lot of help needed from you if convention can't happen.
So keep praying with us because we're hoping for it.
We sure are.
It's gonna be great.
We sure are.
Okay, so there's been a lot of questions out there about 6-year-olds and affidavits. And when do I file my affidavit if my kid's not 6 before the beginning of the school year, but turns 6 halfway through? And there's lots of different advice. I've seen lots of, not conflicting, but not exactly the same advice. And both will say that they've gotten the clear from HSLDA for their opinion. So I looked into that a little bit because we want to provide you with correct information. And I'm going to share with you, I spoke with our representative, Dan Beasley at HSLDA, and this is what he shared. He said that they have a general guidance about when to file an affidavit, and this is what he shared. As a general rule, if your child turns 6 while school is in session, so birthday in any, October, February, whatever, HSLDA recommends filing an affidavit for them no later than their 6th birthday. This is because the Pennsylvania statutes define compulsory school age as the period of a child's life from the time the child's parents elect to have the child enter school, which shall be no later than 6 years of age. So according to what the law says, you need to file the day your child turns 6. Now, that is a general guidance. You can always call HSLDA with your situation and see what you would like to know, what they would say. Now, here's the thing. School districts have times when they want to accept new students, and that ends, second week in September sometime, whatever. It's different by school district. A lot of times after that, the school district won't accept new students, or I don't know how that works, because I don't, whatever. But meaning the thought is you wouldn't need to file an affidavit after that time because their school's not doing that anymore. So a lot of times the school district's like, yeah, don't worry about it. Just file next year when your child is 6 before the school year actually starts, because we don't want to deal with the paperwork or whatever. So, but there are other school districts who are like, yeah, you better believe that we want your affidavit right when your child turns 6. So what CHAP has said in the past is it's kind of up to your school district. Go ask them. And there have been other people who said it's not up to the school district. It's not what's in the law. Well, in the law, yes, it says that 6 years of age, which would mean the day your child turns 6, you need to hand it in. But if you go to your school district and they say, don't worry about it, just send it in next year, then you can go by that. So you see what I'm saying? So if it's the letter of the law, then yeah, you got to file the day your child turns 6.
But if the school district says, I don't want that right now,
then I guess you can go by what the school district says.
Yeah.
So if you want to abide by the letter of the law, I just told you what the letter of the law is. If you want to check in with HSLDA and you want them to clarify for you, do it.
Yep.
I always encourage people to talk to HSLDA to make sure that they have the law straightened out. And it could be different in your situation for some reason.
Yeah.
I do not know.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's what we know. So I
Yes.
just wanted to
So we
clear
were
that up
sharing
a little
that
bit.
with you.
And Kathy Newton, you are asking the date of convention if we have it. It is currently scheduled for August 21st and 22nd down at the Lancaster County Convention Center. So that's what we're hoping
There it
for,
is.
August 21st and 22nd.
Okay, so
Private tutor law.
private tutor law.
Yeah. Okay. Well, first off, we have the keys to homeschooling. If you all are not aware of that, there we
Like
go.
this.
Looks
I think
like
it's
that.
backwards. I
Yeah,
don't know, but-
you can get on chaponline.com to find that. But that has a lot of great information about homeschooling. And so I'm just going to read to you what we have in here about the option to use a private tutor and what the private tutor law is. It says the law provides that you can use a private tutor to educate your child, meaning you could hire someone to come into your home
and teach them.
teach your children, not just anyone, a certified teacher could come in and teach your children for you. But because of the expense, this method is not realistic for most homeschoolers. There is one group that probably can take advantage of this clause, those parents who have a teaching certificate. The law states that a private tutoring must be done by a certified teacher. It does not exclude the child's parents. The following documents would need to be filed with your school district: a copy of your teaching certificate and background checks as required of all Pennsylvania teachers.
Yes. So that is not the exact verbiage of the law. So if you want the exact verbiage, you can go out to homeschoolpennsylvania.org, and on the home education law page where it has like the actual law, boom, right there, you can search on private tutor and it'll pop down through the page and you can read exactly what it says.
Yes. But in essence,
Yeah.
if you are a certified teacher and you're deciding to homeschool your children, you can file under the private tutor law, where you then provide the school district with your teaching certificate and your background checks.
Yes. So the interesting thing about that, and we've had a lot of people ask about that, because I've even had people say, well, I'm going to get my teaching certificate and that's what I'm going to file under, which you go. That's awesome. It does provide a whole lot of freedom. I did check in with Dan on this too, because I have a friend who is a private tutor. She homeschools under the private tutor law. And she shared with me the letters that she sends in every year. When she initially started, she had a little form letter that had the enclosures in it with her certificate and the clearances. Okay, I guess that's when her children were 5 maybe, and they just were getting started. And then every year after that, she would file hey, we're starting the school year under the tutor law, and then she would send in one at the end of the year, hey, we just finished up our school year under the tutor law, and that was it. No portfolio, no evaluation, no testing, no nothing. That's how the private tutor can function, which that's like other states that have 0 regulations, really, is what that is. So pretty cool if you've got your teaching license. So I checked in again with Dan Beasley about the private tutor law, because it's not specific, it's very vague. I don't know if you've ever read it. It's like, what? It's not, compared to the homeschool law, it's like, oh my word. So I did check in with him again. So He said it actually does not require an annual filing. So it's like you would file your clearances and stuff when you very first started homeschooling, and it doesn't really require an annual anything after that. There is a regulation that says the parent, not the tutor, so if you would hire a tutor to come in and do it, that tutor would not file anything, it would be the parent. But the parent provides written assurance that instructional requirements included in the regulation have been met. So that's, what we're required to teach as teachers. So, which is why I have this little letter. It says, my friend writes, it says, this letter serves a written assurance, she used the words, written assurance is straight out of law, from a parent of, and then name the children and the address, has been educated by a properly qualified private tutor as per section, and she lists out the law. So that's what she writes, and she hands that in at the end of the year. But then Dan says it doesn't say when you have to do it. There is no deadline. It's not handed in at the beginning of the year. It's not handed in at the end of the year. There's no specification at all. And he also, which is why he says it's very open. Some school districts, again, like with the 6-year-old affidavit, some school districts want that annually. If you're a private tutor, they want you to file your thing annually. They want that paperwork. Others don't request you do anything at all. So it really depends where you live. The Pennsylvania Department of Education does not specify a deadline. So it's very nebulous.
Yes. Which could be why there's a lot of questions out there.
Yeah, there's not a lot of guidance.
Yeah.
So I would say if you're taking the cover my butt approach, you could do like my friend does. She files all the clearances and stuff initially, and then annually she does a hey, we're starting, and a hey, we finished. And we are going to put like a private tutor page together on homeschoolpennsylvania.org, and I'll put these suggestion form papers just like we do for our immunization thing the other week. We will put that on a page so it's available to you, but again, it's if you're a minimalist, according to the law, you just got to show that you have a certificate, or whoever it is that's teaching your kids has a certificate, and do your thing.
Yep. That's what it says. That's what it says. Yeah. I don't think. Yeah. That's the letters of assurance.
It's a letter of assurance.
Yeah. That's what it says. So hopefully that helped clear up some confusion for you. We know it can be hard sometimes to know.
Yeah, and again, if that didn't help you and you're still confused, contact HSLDA.
Yeah.
They'll walk you through it, and they'll give suggestions as to how they think you should handle it. But really, it's very out there, private tutors. So
So there you go.
It's pretty
if
cool.
If you have your teaching certificate, that would be the way to go.
Yeah.
So.
Very awesome.
Well, we will be back here next week. Like we've already said, keep praying, and maybe next week we'll have some
amazing
wild,
news
crazy
for you.
news for you. But
and we'll do affidavits and objectives next week, kind of updating with the compulsory age change, and go over that again, since we are going to be. It's still June. Still June. We're still in June. I was so afraid it was going to be July already.
Yeah.
No.
It's still June. We're okay. So we will be back with you next week.
Okay.
This has been
Chattin' with
CHAP.
CHAP.
See ya.
Bye.